you have this capability of going crazy dark, but then pulling up the plane before it gets to be too, you know.
I just talking about suicide in my special and suicidal thoughts, like I've had those for so long, and I've been doing comedy for over 20 years and never really talked about it on stage or felt like it was like something I could reveal because I felt ashamed about it, because I was like, I also don't want people to think in the business that I'm going to kill myself someday, therefore they won't give me a job because I'm a liability. But it turns out they don't give a shit. Like if you kill yourself, their show will do better. Yeah. I really thought
you've really looked at the numbers here. Wow, you've really crunched it.
Affect my career.
Yeah,
but it doesn't to say that you think that way, because then I learned that those thoughts don't mean you're going to do anything with it, and then I was thinking, okay, what's funny about this? And the ability to make a chunk of jokes about having thoughts about wanting to kill myself, real thoughts. And being able to have people laugh at that and being able to get out of that and put that in my special was a huge achievement, because that chunk was not doing well for a while. But then I kind of broke it when I figured out that you can excuse anything you're talking about if someone in your life was affected by that thing. Like, you can joke about cancer if you're like, well, I lost my partner to cancer, and like, oh, I've been through it.
You do a great run on
I have
this,
cancer.
Actually.
And
yeah.
when I just had that moment of like, oh, I can talk about suicide because I'm going to kill myself someday. Like that kind of, when I have that excuse, I like to find ways in comedy where you can say offensive things and no one can be mad at you. Because I really don't want people to be mad at me. I really like having that to back up and say, well, it's just true.
Yeah.
Because I don't like to offend anyone. I don't want to trigger anyone. I don't want people to leave feeling, having a panic attack because I brought up something they've been through. So I do offer refunds to my shows. If you leave my show panicked because I said some word that made you think of something that happened to you, I'll Venmo you back your money. At least the part of your ticket that I got made. I really will, because I don't like.
There'll be cheapskates going, I didn't like the part where you went, welcome everybody. Or, thank you, you've been great. That really triggered me.
Thank you.
So I want my money back.
Yeah.
That's like eating a full meal at Denny's and saying,
yes,
this didn't quite do it for me.
Yeah.
There's a very funny thing that you said in your special, which was actually, it served two purposes. First of all, because you were talking about suicidal ideation and people that have any of those kind of thoughts, you give the number people should call, which is
988.
988. And you say 988's the number you call if you're having, and I thought, like, that's important. I wanted to repeat that. And then you said it's not 911. And you had a really funny, you mimed what happens if you call 911.
If you call 911, they're like, I think I'm gonna kill myself. They're like, call us when you do, and then they hang up on you. Because why is there another number? Why do we need it?
Yeah, we don't do that part. You call 988, and then we come later on if you know.
Back. When your jaw is hanging off. Yeah.
Oh my God. But I thought that was a great joke because it was really funny and informational. Like, I thought, okay, you got the information out.
That is what I wanted to do, because I don't think legally you can talk about suicide without saying something like that. And I was already wanting to get that number out because it was a long number. It was like a 1-800 number that no one could remember before. And so now they shortened it. And I have I think I have a deal with myself. If I don't think I'll ever do that, and would never even attempt. I've never even been close to attempting, but because I'd have to clean my room first. I always realize because I'm gonna have company. The coroner's coming over, and so I really do think that.
My God, that's so fucking dark.
It's such a darker version of your grandmother saying, "Make sure you have clean underwear in case you have to go to the hospital." That is a much darker version of that.
Yeah, but I think that, and I honestly think my vanity has kind of like kept me from even going to the next thought. And so, I wanted to get that number out there because I know that there are a lot of people that, are like, no one cares, I'm going to kill myself. And I always say, just call the number first. You can do it after. Just at least call the number first. And I'm not saying do it after, but I'm saying if you are so dead set on this, but okay, so let's just see. Just reach out to someone. And I think it's very important to get that out there. But it was that was an achievement for me to be able to talk about that. And I have even more to say in my next special, it turns out. So I'm
going to trick you into saying it here and then you can't do it.
No.
No, I'm kidding. You simulate a gangbang by yourself in a mini dress on a stool. And it is really something to see. And I was thinking, first of all, I learned a lot about because I'm so uptight and naive in my own way that I'm not quite sure how a gangbang works. And then you're acting it out on a stool, and I was like, oh. I was laughing, but also there was a how-to element to it for me.
That's how I when I was talking about what the porn that I watch and that involves gangbangs, I really thought like everyone kind of knew what that was. And then I realized, I thought back to before I had gone down that road in the porn world, because you don't start there. I don't think that's where I'm ending either. I think there's many places I can still go.
You know what? Always you can always grow. You can always grow.
Yeah.
You can always expand into
porn knows.
Don't limit yourself.
Don't dream big, because porn.
I started with just naughty nurses.
That is where you started.
And now I'm with naughty orthopedics.
Well, they know, because if you watch porn, they'll suggest things to you that they think you'll like. And the other day, I felt so proud of myself because I saw something that involved urine. Like, it was like just the thumbnail. And I could see that it involved urine. Mm-hmm. And I just was like, oh, God. And I felt so like good that there is a bar for me. And then I can tell, because I'm like, no, I don't want that. And I could tell the site is just like, okay, we'll see you next week. Like, sorry, we jumped the gun on this.
Yeah, you're a little early.
But you will be
You're
here.
A week away.
This is where it ends.
We've crunched the numbers, Nikki.
This is where you're headed. And I am.
Nikki
it just
at
gets
69, hot dick.
There is this
I'm just imagining what her. I just think I nailed.
You clearly never watch porn.
I like that you think you have to have a username.
I know.
It's so cute.
Shit, I've been using my actual name.
No.
Yeah, but it's all like Victorian porn.
Oh, okay.
It's all things like, I'll have that hoop skirt off you.
I'm listening.
Once I finish this snuff.
But it is watching porn, like, it's a lonely thing. Obviously, you're doing it mostly when you're alone, but there's so much funny stuff going on in that world, and you don't really have anyone to talk to about it. And so it's on stage, being able to share my experience in that world and have people laugh. It's like the only way, because I can't even talk to my friends about the stuff that they watch. Like, it's not even something you really can't talk to anyone about what you see on there and what you witness. And I find that comedy is a great way to, for me to kind of exercise that guilt that I have of the stuff that I'm witnessing, because I'm not alone. Because these are gangbang's a category that's like right up.
But don't you
center.
think, you just said this is kind of where I want to go with this. That is so much of what I think this is about, kind of, which is
shame.
Well, no, but also you saying, I don't know. I have in my life, I have people that think, oh, it must be nice to be in that situation. And I think, I don't know it. It's just been a constantly evolving situation, and pain is a regular part of it, and disappointment. And I think we have a world that doesn't show that. They just show almost in that Kardashian way, like everything's cleaned up and looks so perfect and looks so idealized. And I just think it's really important for people to understand that, okay, this is what it takes to be a Nikki Glaser. And this is and these are the things that are part of your personality, and you share it with people, and it's really funny. But I think I hate to say, because it sounds so corny, but I also think it does some good.
Yes.
For young women that
I am adamant about telling the secrets that make me look a certain way on TV, or make me even perform a certain way. Like, I need people to know this is not just how I'm showing up, because I grew up looking at women in magazines, and we didn't really know. We knew about airbrushing, but we didn't know about all, like, the teams that they had around them, and I didn't know about fake eyelashes or hair extensions and all these things. And so whenever I do anything, or get compliments on my looks or anything like that, I remember I was working on that show, F-Boy Island, and the director's young daughters came to set, and I was really just dolled up. I looked like a princess, and they were like, "You're so beautiful." And I go, "Girls, let's look at this. I took out my hair, which I have on right now. I unclipped it. I go, this is all fake. Every woman you see on TV is wearing this stuff." I go, "These are fake eyelashes." And the director's in my ear, and he goes, "Thank you so much for doing this because no one does this. And these girls were admiring me in a way that they wouldn't had I not been wearing all that stuff. And they need to know because I suffered so much from not knowing that stuff. So I think that's really what drives everything I do is like, I want young girls especially to have all the information that they need to go forward and not feel so like there's something wrong with them because they don't look that way or they don't have that kind of success or they don't know, they're not as sexually advanced. I mean, that was a real problem for me as well, was just that I was scared of boys for so long and felt like, I think that's why I talk about sex all the time is because I just didn't have information about it, so I was scared about it. Yeah. And I didn't want to do it. And my mom also told me at a very young age, if you're ever alone with a boy, they'll all rape you. And so she literally gave me that sex talk. That was because she wanted to scare me, like that kind of parental thing of. But she also,
I think I'm just gonna say, I think she took the wrong course there.
Yeah, when she used to, my mom would watch me. My dad would go to work. We lived on like a river. And she was so scared that I would venture off and drown that she told me, if you ever go down to that river, if you ever go past this driveway, you will die. Jeez. You will die. And so, you just believe her. Then my dad would come home and go like, let's go kayaking. And I go, no! And I'd be screaming. And he wonders why I don't like the outdoors now. But I really, I was just a terrified child. My first word as a child, multisyllabic word was dangerous. And I would point out things that were dangerous. And I was completely in fear of everything. I couldn't public speak. And in 7th grade, I would have to, present during recess or when the other kids were like at recess alone with the teacher. My dad would have to call because I would shake so much in front of the class. I would always do presentations that were glow in the dark so that I could do it in the dark so that no one would see me shake. And then one time Mrs. Tucky was like, why don't you give the presentation with the lights on and then we turn it out? And I was like, no, that's not the plan. And I'm just shaking so much. My kneecaps, I would feel like I was going to fall over. And and then that really butted up against the fact that I wanted to be on TV. I didn't know what I was going to do. And I just remember there was a moment where I was just like, if you can't live in regret, you're going to regret if you don't try. Yep, and so I signed up for a play that I had no business doing, but I just had to go do it and I think that's my whole life is just signing up for things I'm scared of, saying yes to things that I'm terrified I'm going to fail at. Sure. And then I have to fulfill it because I don't want to disappoint people. And I think that's really a key component of my success.